that's pretty much where we left off, with you and the Rangers heading up towards this big estate that they pointed to is just a short distance away. Anyone have any questions or?
So again, the ability I just got that I showed you, can I implement that?
Yeah, sure.
Even though it's not technically the start of a mystery?
Yeah, okay. Totally.
Well, because the effects don't happen now. Basically, I just decide how many questions I get to ask now.
Right, so. Yeah. And then you can ask them as you see fit later on.
So I some of us just leveled up. And I got an ability called Connect the Dots, which is basically at the beginning of a mystery. I can try to discern patterns and stuff by rolling plus sharp. And then depending on what I roll, I get to ask questions about how people and things are connected to bigger picture stuff going forward. So I'm going to roll my sharp.
All right.
That is 9. So I get to hold 1.
Okay.
Okay, and
cool.
We'll save that for a rainy day.
Yeah, so whenever you want to ask that question, go for it. Rhett, what did you wind up taking for Frank's advancement?
Nothing.
Okay, maybe we should figure that out before we start.
I'm going to take cover identities. I've decided. Cover identities.
Okay. So I guess we're just traveling with Kinej and Finn towards the Vadalis manor?
Correct, yes. I think it's probably early evening, kind of getting close to sunset at this point.
Do we have our wagon?
We probably took it to the stable.
Yeah, you can ride in your wagon if you want.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, so the Rangers will... I imagine they have horses, so they're probably riding their horses alongside your wagon.
Word.
Kind of through this kind of small backwoods road. There's not a whole lot happening around this area, so it's a pretty peaceful country drive to the Vadalis estate. Is there anything that you all wanted to talk about beforehand, or talk with the Rangers about on your travel there?
So again, we know House Vadalis are the ones that mage breed animals, correct?
Correct. They have the mark of handling, a dragon mark that gives them enhanced magical control over training and handling animals.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll ask, which of the Rangers seem to be more in charge?
Kinej, who's again is this young woman with this kind of blondish hair. They both have kind of a typical greenish ranger kind of cloak and leather armor.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna lean out of the wagon, like I guess towards Kinej, and just be like, Kinej, which of the Vadalis households is this?
He says it's a man who goes by the name Killian de Vadalis.
Do I know anything about Killian?
From like what kind of source do you think? Like just from one of your connections? Or...
I mean, just having heard the name, being someone who tries to stay in the know of.
We'll say that you had heard the name long ago. Just because it's a fun fact that most people in Braylon would probably know is that he was the one responsible. He gifted King Boronel the mage-bred ghost tigers.
Okay.
He bred them and gifted him the 2 ghost tigers that went on to become the king's bodyguards and companions.
All right.
So and like you know that, and then you don't really know anything else about him.
Okay.
And that was like 20, 30 years ago or something like that. So like that was the last time he was noteworthy, seemingly.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Close friend of the king, and here we go marching to his house with the king's rangers.
He says, yeah, that's going to be interesting. I don't know how he'll necessarily react to it.
If he's innocent, he's got nothing to hide.
Well, that's true. And again, Finn and I are particularly just investigating the sacrifices that have been around the forest. If your raptor is involved with it, then great. But I don't know if we're necessarily on the same mission right now.
We just need to know if he has a monkey.
Hey, Uncle Frank.
Yeah, what is it, buddy?
Why did you tell me to invite these guards again?
You invited the guards.
But no, because I felt like there was this moment where like a sharp boy buzzed near my ear, and you said, and someone said, "Hey, invite the guards." That wasn't you?
No, I mean they seem like lovely individuals, but I just thought you wanted some extra help. That wasn't me. Are you hearing voices?
Someone told me to invite the guards. And I didn't think it was my thoughts, because normally my thoughts sound different.
What do your thoughts sound like? Like a sexy voice?
They're a little
cool
deeper.
Voice? A little deeper?
Yeah.
Like
Barry Barlow.
Yeah. You mean barreled white?
Yes, barreled white. Barreled white. That's the first thing I said.
Okay. As you kind of move through this little country road and kind of arrive up to this clearing where a lot of the forest kind of parts and kind of leads into the edge of the King's Forest proper, you see this massive complex with a walled complex. Old building, beautiful, very well maintained, and there are a lot of other wagons outside of it, actually. Probably are somewhere around a dozen other wagons of varying makes, very high-end wagons kept outside.
Oh, they weren't late to the party.
Do we hear any like raucous merrymaking or anything?
Not. We'll say that maybe as you do get closer, you do hear a lot of voices from like the gate area and from right inside the gate, and you do see like maybe like a very finely dressed couple get out of one of the wagons and move towards the front gate, and an attendant there greets them, nods, and then leads them in into the estate grounds. So they do seem to be dressed for some sort of fancy occasion.
I look down at one of the rips in my coat and just like, well, this is getting more and more interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Paxton is wearing his jersey.
My mesh jersey. It feels great outside.
Yeah, so
are you wearing anything under it?
No. Why would I be?
Gotta let that mesh breathe.
Look good, feel good.
And slowly, kind of as you're still arriving up, the gates kind of open up and these wagons start pulling in. And from a distance, you can see that a lot of them are being led by pretty exotic mounts. There is a nightmare steed there, which is just a demon horse from hell, pretty much, with a fiery mane and fire on its hooves with these red eyes.
Oh my god!
Okay, just had this really blank look on his face.
So awesome.
As well as like maybe like a bullet leading one, this little stone underground shark, pretty much. Just like,
but it can
really exotic things leading these wagons.
Underground shark. It doesn't need water.
It's like a land shark.
Land shark.
It's like a street shark. So Kinaj will pipe up and say, "So what do you want to do about this right here?"
Blend in.
You're the investigators. We're just rangers. So,
I mean, are there any signs saying like park here, the yard sales out back? Like, no.
There's no sign or no apparent direction. It does seem like a lot of the wagons are being let through the front gate and into the premises.
Well, you are here on the king's authority, and so
play cool.
Our inn is probably best with you.
That's fair. We can certainly give that a shot.
Just act like we belong.
You don't act like you belong, Paxton. First rule, you do belong.
Yeah.
That's right. We're working on that self-esteem, baby.
Kinej,
we say all this out loud in front of him.
Sure, yeah.
Self-esteem building.
Yeah, for sure. Kinej kind of looks at all of you and even at herself in her ratty green hood, says, "Well, we certainly don't look like we belong right now, but we'll have to figure that out." And as the wagon kind of draws closer, you maybe even have to wait a little bit at the end of this train of wagons that are going in. But eventually, as you do come up to the front gate, there's an attendant there, a gnomish individual with kind of this dark swept hair, dressed in very fine suit, kind of comes up and greets you all and says, "Names?"
Oh, bugger.
And
bugger.
There's a palpable silence, and eventually Kinej pipes in and says, "Hi there. We're here with the King's Rangers. Me, my partner, and I, and we're hoping to speak to Master Killian if he's around." And the attendant pauses for a moment, and he scans down this little notepad list that he has. Says, "I don't see any King's Rangers on this list. I'll have to go check with Master Killian about that, and then I'll be right back." And she nods and kind of looks at you all like, I guess that's fine.
Bluff.
Does he have any features of a Cirillo?
Maybe, sure. He has similar dark hair, and
I was gonna say, you said black hair.
Maybe there's some like similarity in the facial structure, but he's nowhere near as shredded as.
No one is.
Mr. Guard, have I seen you somewhere before? You look really familiar.
No, I don't think so.
You weren't in town earlier today?
Were you?
Do you have family in Ternsby?
I do. Yeah, I'm from Ternsby initially. Yeah.
You know, you look just
Ari?
like.
Are you related to Ari Cirillo?
He kind of like looks really downtrodden. It's like, yeah, He's my brother, my younger brother.
Oh well, how about that? Well,
that's so cool. Your younger brother is so cool.
Yeah, he's cool. Who are you? Were you in a PE class or something before you came here? Like, what are?
In a manner of speaking.
Do you want me to go check with the master, or do you want to keep talking about my super cool brother who punched a monster to death?
He punched this guy to death, that's for sure.
Yeah, your brother, he's tougher than he looks, but not as tough as old Frankie Punch Eyes over here.
Frank beat him, but
I thought you were Frank the Tank.
He's looking a little frustrated at this point. He's like, yeah, well, if he's so great, maybe he could turn left every once in a while. But great, I'm gonna go talk to Master Killian and put in a real good word for all of you.
Do I get the sense that he has kind of a like?
Yes,
that he feels like he's not living up to Ari's.
Yeah,
yes,
Okay.
he's explicitly not.
Okay.
Now, his younger brother is much more well loved than him.
Okay, all right.
He's an attendant for some rich guy.
Okay, look. So I'm gonna say so. Quickly, Master Cirillo, I didn't catch your first name. What is your given name?
Barry.
Ari and Barry, of course. Look, I know it's hard to have siblings, who we may think garner a certain amount more praise than we do. Listen, so your brother is this hero because he punched a bar guest to death, correct?
Yeah, and my two other brothers were war heroes, and I'm just
you're the brains.
Listen,
They're
Barry.
a bunch of dummies. Trust me, I know, I am one.
Look,
I am one.
You shouldn't be trying to live your life.
Hold on, wait. I don't want to talk to the sports guy over here. What were you saying?
So listen. So you need your moment to shine. You need your moment to be a hero. Is that correct? I mean,
he does not respond,
okay.
But he listens.
Okay. So, look, we are on very important business. The Rangers and ourselves are investigating a series of sacrifices that have been occurring within our king's forest. The forest is sacred to the king. You know this. He defends it with his rangers 24/7. And so this is something that you can do for your country. Allow us into this party. And you are well on your way to being as renowned and living up to that Cirillo name.
I'm trying to see if this is even to manipulate someone, because you're not really even promising him anything.
Nope. Sure aren't.
Go ahead and roll to manipulate someone, and we'll see. He'll most likely require something of you.
I do that with my sharp. That is enough. That is...
Yeah.
That is 12 total.
Okay. So on a 10 plus for manipulate someone, they'll do it for the reason you gave them. If you asked too much, then they'll tell you the minimum it would take for them to do it.
Okay.
So I don't think it's not very difficult for him to do.
Right.
It's kind of sketchy because, it's his job to let the right people in, to let the right one in, but...
He's also very small.
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm just saying, if he was going to get in trouble, we could be like, oh, we pushed our way past him because he's small.
We bullied him, yeah.
Push comes to shove.
Yeah, so he kind of, as you said all that, and he wasn't responding to it or anything, but he kind of gives a deep nod when you're done, and he says, let me go inside and double check a couple of things, and then I'll be right back.
Do the right thing, Barry. I trust you.
Okay. And he
as soon as he's out of earshot, I'm like, no, better do the right thing.
He opens the gate a little bit and walks inside and then closes it behind him, and then heads off to the main house. and is gone for about 5 minutes. Do you guys want to do anything in that time?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the Rangers and gonna go, could you guys are here on the King's authority. You could throw that around a little bit. You guys are kind of real polite here, hat in hand.
We don't.
You're the Green Rangers.
We don't deal with people very often. We live in the forest most of the time and just talk to. Finn and I talk to each other most of the time. We don't talk to a lot of people.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, you're impressive.
Well, and also, don't the Dragonmark houses hold a lot of power
for sure.
Like, so it's almost not even
a good point.
Really something where flashing the king's signet ring is gonna, get you in, or not signet ring. The king has the signet ring, but his, his sigil is gonna get you into, whatever.
That's a very good point. If Brayland is like the U.S., the Dragonmark houses are like Google, basically. Like they think of them as just like
but who makes
corporations? Well, in some cases, Google.
Are we going to have this conversation, right?
I don't know.
So sometimes Google makes
this is getting very
laws.
deep, yeah.
Because like there's a stipulation long ago that Dragonmarked houses they basically get a cap on the amount of power that they could hold. Because like if they weren't reined in, that they would like rise to the level of a full country, as far as power accumulation. So there's stipulations on the amount of land that they can hold and the business that they can do. But there's so many of them and they hold such monopolies that you can't throw your weight around with them very often. At least not on a higher ranking member of the family.
Yeah, but on a steward? Come on.
On a steward, yeah, perhaps, yeah. So she agrees with that, but says neither of us are very good with that kind of stuff. We'll give it a shot, but I mean, you all seem very persuasive and in ways, but
in ways, in certain circles.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm just saying,
Point taken. We'll try
hold yourself up. You've got this. Hey, hey, look at me. You got this. I believe in you.
Can I hop out of the wagon to stretch my legs?
Sure. Yeah. Totally. Get out there, do some stretches.
Yep. I'm gonna.
Also, remember, we forgot to mention this in a wrap up. Just in case you forgot, you do have a really big, cool sword right now. Also, just remember that.
Where did I get that? How?
You won that in the betting.
Gambling.
Yes.
That's right.
When you bet the wagon.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's right. I wrote it. Fancy, well-made sword. Let's go.
Yeah, just wanted to remind you.
Did you write "Let's go"?
No, but I shut up.
Okay, so you're out there stretching and.
So I'm just stretching, looking around. Are there like guards on the walls? Like.
There are not.
Okay.
The wall is probably about 7 feet high.
Okay.
Stone wall.
Are there any clues? Is there anything I can discern from?
But Keegan, are there any clues?
I'm just looking for tracks.
Where would the clues be located?
That's a good question. If you're looking for tracks, and then we can.
Pardon me, sir.
That.
Where do you keep your clues?
I would just like to know if there are any clues lying around.
Just imagine there are clues, Kyle.
Okay.
If you want to look for something that is a move that you can do, investigate a mystery is probably the most applicable one. So if you want to roll for that, you can.
Okay. I'm gonna roll to investigate a mystery.
And so just while you're stretching, you just kind of nonchalantly maybe just like walk along the length of the wall or just to look for stuff.
Because is this like a wrought iron gate where I can see through it, or is it like a completely solid wall that you can't?
It's a solid wall. There is an iron gate in the middle where they're letting people in, but otherwise it is a solid stone wall.
Okay. I'm gonna look to see what I see. It's a 7. What do I add to that?
Your sharp.
Which is not a lot. So it's only a 7.
Okay, so on a 7, you get to ask one of those questions from the investigate a mystery list.
Okay. What is being concealed here?
Okay.
Ooh.
So I think that you, as Hal and Frank kind of watch Paxton just slowly start to stride. Are you like jogging or?
I might do a couple wind sprints to get the hips loose.
And
I'm trying to figure out how to move with this sword. I'm not used to
sword's just like
it.
clattering. And, like it's a big sword,
Keeps
right? Like it's a big
falling
like
off his
two-hander, right?
Can it go on my back?
I think it has to go on your back for sure.
So dope.
I think it probably came with a really nice big
with
sheath
your mesh jersey, and
it's gonna cross with my lacrosse stick.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, you're like Geralt, but instead of a silver sword, you have a lacrosse stick.
Yes.
Yeah, so as you're kind of wandering around and you remember the tracks that you were following or that you all noticed before, and cover a lot of ground, eventually you kind of get to like a farther section of the wall where you actually manage to pick up on those tracks again. You're not necessarily like the biggest investigator of the group, but you managed to stumble across them.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
Do they look like animal tracks?
They definitely do. It looks like there is the footprints of the monkey.
Okay.
Excuse me. As well as
Footprints of the Monkey sounds like a old noir film.
yeah, like a John Woo movie. Yeah. So the monkey's footprints, a humanoid boot print, of a medium size, and as well as pretty clear like claw mark tracks
and these are leading away from the castle or into the castle?
They're leading into the castle, and it seems to like lead like straight up into it. So into like the wall.
Over the wall?
Just into the wall.
Oh, okay. Can I tap the wall?
Yeah, tap the wall for what are you trying to discern there?
Trying to go through it, yeah.
If this is Dark Souls, trying to see if
is there an illusionary wall?
You hit it and then it goes away. You definitely discover that this section of the wall is a little bit different than the rest of it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's like in a video game or even in like cartoons where like there's something in the environment that's meant to blow up or move. It's like a slightly different color or it's like a slightly farther up in the perspective.
The stones look newer or something.
Maybe there is some grating on the mud and the dirt below it. This does seem to be a movable section of the wall. It was a mixed result, so I'm trying to think of some sort of thing that can happen to you.
He sprained his ankle.
My conditioning's too good.
He lost his sword.
No.
Oh God, no.
I just got it.
Left your sword behind.
Oh.
What?
It should revolve like in Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade.
And when
Kyle goes to push on the side, it flips and he falls in the wall and they come out of the wall.
That's absolutely what happens.
We've split the party. Oh no.
I was thinking about how to do that because one of the keeper moves is to separate the party.
Oh yeah, nice.
And so that's exactly how it works.
Perfect.
Like it does. Like as Paxton is investigating and gets really intensely interested in it, it does just rotate. He gets thrown on the other side of the wall and like maybe like doesn't realize that at first. We're like, oh wait,
am I like in a hidden dungeon or am I literally just on the other side of the wall?
On the other side of the wall.
Okay.
And it's kind of like this courtyard area, this exterior outside of this huge mansion, and you see a couple of other people kind of hanging around there. There's a couple like on like the porch and by some stairs that lead up into the house, and they're just like very romantic. And kind of whispering in each other's ears along the balcony. They're again
and giggling.
Yeah, giggling, and like everyone else, they're very, very well dressed.
Okay,
yeah, you're gonna have to try and blend in on your own.
Yeah, I mean,
in your mesh tee with your giant sword.
If you act like you belong, nobody will.
Yeah, so what do you do at this point? No one else has noticed you, but there are like quite a few people around this area, and you see some people in the inside of the house through the windows and attendants running around. Maybe you see Barry kind of hurriedly rushing back out of the front door, out to the front gate, which is a distance away from you.
I'm going to rush to the nearest bushes and dive into the bushes so Barry doesn't see me.
Okay. Yeah, go. Yeah, that's fine.
Thank God.
Paxton dives into the bushes, and then we switch back over to the rest of the crew as Barry comes out towards the front gate and opens it up, and says, "You're all clear to go." I did mention to Master Killian that the King's Rangers and their friends were here to talk to him. He'll be meeting you in the library in 30 minutes.
Very good. Barry, thank you very much. We will remember this.
I hope so.
You have made a friend indeed. That's all I've got for you, buddy. I don't have a tip. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're supposed to do in this
Right,
scenario.
he just holds his hands out and rubs his fingers together.
It's like start patting. Oh no.
Actually, I have a coin in my hand and I shake his hand, but when I bring it back, I still have the coin in my hand. I'm like, dang it. You gotta get better
you
at
drop
this.
it while you're shaking his hand.
Yeah.
That's okay. Kinej thanks him as well, and you all pull into the wagon and pull alongside the row of other ones that are there, basically parked along the edge of the wall. and are free to wander around.
Wait, what about Paxton? He went for a little jog of sorts. I don't get exercise.
You know him and his calisthenics. He's probably still taking a lap. Hey, Barry.
Yeah.
When my nephew, he was the one in the mesh jersey.
I remember. Yeah.
If he shows back up, would you just let him know that we're inside the party? He was taking a little walkabout. You know, the kids, they can't sit still.
Sure. What was his name?
Paxton.
Paxton. Good. I didn't want to get him confused with all the other people wearing mesh jerseys tonight.
I like the cut of your jib.
I'll let him know if I see him. We'll enjoy the auction.
Thank you very much, man.